Welcome to the Plant Grow Reap podcast.
Welcome back to Plant Grow Reap. I'm Sammi. Today we're back with a second episode featuring some of the Gen Z team members here at Aintree Group. If you haven't already listened to our first episode on this topic, episode 27, I highly recommend adding it to your queue. It sets the stage for some of the conversations we're continuing today. I'm joined today by Izzy, Sophie, and Kane. We're diving a little deeper into the values, motivations, and experiences shaping our generation's role in the workforce. Let's get into it. Our very first question is regarding... Our very first question is, previous generations have been known to tie their self-worth and identity to their work. What does meaningful work look like to you? For me personally, I think meaningful work is definitely something I'm looking for when it comes to looking for jobs or career-wise even. The work has to be... It either has to align with my values or it has to be somewhat satisfying in that I'm not coming to work and feeling like maybe it's not what I'm interested in or not something I'm personally passionate about. I know that's maybe not a sentiment shared by everyone. I do know I have classmates who say things like, oh, you know, it's not my favorite thing, but I don't mind, work is work. Or maybe there isn't that expectation where we have to necessarily enjoy the work that we do. But I think for me at least, and I would expect for most of us here at Aintree Group, we do actually enjoy the work that we get to do, which is really nice. But if anyone else wanted to jump in?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think if you look at it, especially like if you see the corporate culture videos on TikTok, you see a lot of people being upset when they're at work. And I've seen so many people who are like, oh my God, this is my third cry of the week at work. And I just couldn't relate to that at all. Like, I feel like I come to work, I enjoy what I do. I have lunch with my friends that I've made here, and like it's really nice to come to work and do that. And I think it will be hard if I, move on from Aintree Group to also find that in a corporate setting, which is often the place where people are the most unhappy from what I've heard. And even like other people at uni who are paralegals or legal assistants feeling very drained from work, whereas like I come to work and it's almost like a day off, compared to like uni where you're, tied down and you have to do all this somewhat boring work, and then you come here and it's kind of applying it but also in a nice environment.
Izzy and I were actually talking about this once when we were coming back from Pilates, I think. And because I know this sort of comes off like we're sucking up, but genuinely, like this is a sentiment we share. We were coming back from Pilates and we were talking about going to work, and maybe one of our friends who doesn't really like going to work, and we essentially were like, oh, but we actually work is work, but we don't dread coming here like some people might. Like, we actually like it and we get along with everyone, which is really great. And we get to do fun things like this. Which definitely adds or like at least enriches our experience here.
And I feel like it's so nice that you guys work so close as well, and you share the same passion for. Am I too far away? Yeah. It's so nice that you guys work so closely together and you do share the same passion, and you're obviously both studying the same degree. I feel like that's a big part of coming to work and looking forward to actually working.
Unlike the operations team, which is studying completely different.
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to touch on that because I feel like for me, meaningful work will change throughout my career. Like at the moment, I'm an operations coordinator, and obviously for the accounting team, but I'm about to graduate with a banking and finance degree. So it will change next year when I move into the industry that I'm more passionate about and more aligned to. But at the moment, I find meaningful work in making a difference to clients, and I get great satisfaction from like getting things done.
Yeah.
I just love being productive. But obviously, when I move into the industry that I'm studying, I feel like I'll find it more meaningful when I'm doing things that I'm actually passionate about. So whether that's investing or banking or whatever that is, I think I'll find more meaningful. Or more meaning from that. Yeah. But I think it does like kind of progress throughout your career.
I feel like
and when you're in different roles.
Your like experience here as well will really help you when you move into that industry, or you still sort of same industry, but working in like maybe a bigger company and still getting that client satisfaction. I think maybe it might be a bit harder to have that client relationship in a bigger company, but I think your experience here would probably help that a lot.
Yeah,
I can
definitely.
imagine.
And I feel like for all of us, especially because we're obviously younger, and we're learning so much in our roles. It's really. I need a synonym for meaningful, guys.
It's good. It's good, and you're really good at your job.
But I feel like it's so it's really look forward to coming to work because you're learning so much. What about you, Kane?
I completely agree with what you were saying. Like, obviously, my course and the career that I'll be diving into in the future is nothing alike.
Do you want to remind listeners?
I'm studying film, and I work in. I specialize in music videos and
he's really good.
Short length films. Thank you very much. I do lighting and editing, so that's why I'm here editing these podcasts for Aintree Group. But I think that my time here, they've done a really good job at tailoring to the skills that I already have from my other career path, or that I'm building for that career path. So a lot of my job is practical, hands-on. So I think what's really good with us together as operations coordinators, but what Amy has also really honed in on, is the fact that I'm not so much good at sitting at a desk and standing still for more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Know your strengths.
So and I think she does that really well. Like
she is good at that.
When the orders come in for Woolworths, or I'm like, the hardware closet needs to be sorted, I kind of do that stuff, and then you kind of do the admin stuff that my brain just can't comprehend yet.
Yeah.
And it works because Monday I spent all day in the IT closet sorting all of the cables and getting everything together, which is exactly what my job is on set. I'm sorting cables and making lights work, and positioning stuff and lifting things, and that's exactly what I do.
I think it's really beneficial that we have such different working styles for our team, because we do like office management, but then a lot of admin.
If
so I
neither
feel
of
like we
us-
complement each other quite well.
If neither of us worked like you do, like very critical thinking and good with the tech stuff, it would be a really confusing and difficult environment. And I think vice versa, if neither of us like doing the practical stuff of like...
Because I get sick of it.
I know you do, which is exactly why they hired me, I think that's my purpose at this company.
If I can go off that, Kane, the next talking point is about purpose and passion. So whether meaningful work is about purpose and passion, or if it's just about providing the means to live a meaningful life outside of work. I think all of us touched on how we're studying things we're actually interested in, which is really great. I've been in a class this year for I don't know if I'm about to like name drop the name of the year, but it's to do with critical management studies. And it's a lot of it is critical perspectives on the working world, or maybe the role work plays in society. And I read there was a really interesting reading we had to do that was about the possibility of a world existing post-work. And the idea is that with the increased use of technology, AI will at some point potentially come to replace the more mundane or operational side of things, and then hold on, hear me out, and then give us or like workers free reign to do the sort of work that they are more personally drawn towards. So whether that actually indeed be legal or admin work, sure, that's fine. But there's this idea that a lot of people actually might prefer more creative things and end up choosing more lucrative paths and foregoing like that side of themselves. So I think I wanted to ask, in this reading, they mentioned something about how for Americans, I think it was, a really big part of their identity is what they do at work, even if what they do at work is not necessarily what they actually care about. So when you guys introduce yourselves, do you consider what you like do you consider what you do at work as being part of that, or do you consider like your passions, or even like in the future, like so if you're coming into banking and finance, like do you think you're going to include that in your introduction, like, oh, I'm Sophie, I work in, I don't really understand banking and finance, but I work in banking and finance.
Says a commerce girl.
Because I work in management. I don't work with like that. Like, do you think that's going to actually form a really big part of our identity just because we are able to go into areas of work that we like? Or
It's so funny that you asked that, because I was thinking about that yesterday while I was in the shower.
TMI.
I had an existential crisis.
Yes.
Because the last time I was at a party and someone asked what I did, I didn't mention Aintree Group at all. I said I work in film.
Yeah.
Which
I understand for you, because as you
Yeah,
said,
it makes
there's
sense,
a
I
pretty
think.
big difference.
But also, this is my job.
That's
like,
true.
this is what I spend
But you
like
also
15 plus hours a week working on. And
you
towards.
also work in film though. Like, don't sell yourself
I know,
short.
but
Like,
I didn't
part
do
of
both.
things. Okay.
I just said film. And
I
that
think
feels,
because film is your passion. I'm not sure if operations is your passion.
that goes exactly to the point that Sammi was making. Like,
yeah.
I think that we do follow our passions, and if we work in what we love, it just like works. But sometimes it's hard to get yourself to a point where you can do what you love, and you kind of have to go through the stages of growing the skills for what you love to do in other areas of life and other jobs before you can get to that kind of final stage for yourself.
Absolutely. And I think like because we maybe as a generation are more inclined and we feel like we have more options available to us in like pursuing our passions. Like I know my parents, like my mom was really into the arts, but she ended up going into banking and finance. My dad, IT as well. And obviously they were immigrants, so they were looking for something secure, maybe something that could give them more stability. And I think that study I read about, it said something like, oh, this large percentage of Americans define their identity as what they work in. But then I was thinking, how many of those Americans actually care about what they're working in? And yet it still forms part of their identity. So I just thought it was interesting because for us, at least we all care about what we're going into. So yeah, there's a close association between that and how we define ourselves. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
I think work does have a big influence on our identity. And I feel like I look at like in social situations, especially if you're like catching up with someone and after a long time of seeing them and you go, how are you going? And then it's like, how's work going? Like it's literally like one of the first few questions that you ask someone. So and because we spend so much time at work, like if you're working full time, it's 40 hours a week, which is a big chunk of your life. So I think, work is a big part of our identity, whether some people like it or not, depending on whether they're passionate about it. But I do think it forms a big part of our identity just because we spend so much time thinking about work and actually doing work.
And I feel like, especially like a double degree law, commerce law, arts, it's like 5.5 years you're spending at uni. Like you kind of want it to be at like the forefront, like when you introduce yourself, like, hi, I'm Isabel. If, become a lawyer down the track, I'm a lawyer. Like you have spent that time at uni and so much effort is put into a degree.
Investment.
Like the amount of exams, even just the HEC stat, like it makes sense that it's like at the forefront of what you say.
And you want to be proud to say it as well.
It's interesting because I actually am proud to say that I work in an accounting firm.
Oh my God, me too.
I love, because a lot of people that I hang out with, not to dox my friends, but like half of them, like some people I know our age don't have jobs, and some people I know work in like fast food and supermarkets, and there's nothing wrong with that. I worked in both McDonald's and Coles, but I don't know, I take a certain amount of pride in people asking what I do and going, oh, I work in an accounting firm.
People's reactions are quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like I quite often find people like, oh my God, I'm like, it's not that.
Do you get people asking you if you're an accountant? Do you then say that and then they go, oh, so you're an accountant?
I'm like, no. Definitely not.
Just because I work here doesn't mean that's what I do.
But people's reactions are interesting.
That's cute.
Is my mic cutting out?
A little.
Because you're far away.
It's because it's you're
It's
enjoying.
okay, it's okay, it's
Yeah.
Don't move closer and then push the mic away.
Is it fine?
Oh, okay.
Are we happy to move on to the next one?
Of course we can.
Okay, so I think we sort of touched on this at the beginning, but how important is it that your workplace aligns with your personal values?
I think pretty important.
I would say it's really important. And I feel like we would all probably share the same view because we're at the start of our career. And I think because we've got so much autonomy at the moment with like planning our career, I think it's really important to align personal values just because of what's ahead of us. Like we've literally got 50 years of working full time.
Gosh.
I know, and it's only going to increase from here, like how much time you spend at work. So I think that makes it even more important.
Yeah, and you don't want to be at work bored.
No.
Like, I can't do boredom.
Or
I
like
agree.
dreading going to work.
Yeah.
I feel like I almost get a little kick out of coming to work.
Oh, no, for sure.
No, I do too.
I get to see Sammi, get to see Katie, Charlie, the whole legal team, and you guys, of course. But you're on the other side of the office.
You also don't see me. I haven't
Kane
seen
just
you guys in
changed his
months.
days, so we get to see Soph.
Yeah.
But I'm swapping soon.
Yeah, but then we'll be swapping
Are
as
you?
well,
Yeah.
probably.
What days?
Big news. I think those days. Maybe.
I'm sure everyone would love
Yeah, everyone knows when Kane's working out.
Yay.
Yay.
I can
think
cut it out.
going to the personal values aligning with the workplace. Sorry, this reminds me. Izzy actually did an event last year, so a networking event at uni, which she hosted. And it was wonderful. It was really well done. And I was in the audience, and it was a panel discussion with a few panelists. And Sophie Cohen from our legal team, director of Aintree Group Legal, was there along with some others. One of the questions that that Izzy raised with the audience and the panelists was, what do you value or prioritize in a job? Like, what are you looking for? And I was one of the only people who said that I consider like company culture or like the values of a company at the top of my list. And I think it was like two lawyers. So it was like Ruth and I think Ewan.
Yeah,
who was
Ewan.
not a lawyer but was there because he studied law. They were both kind of like, I remember, oh, really interesting that we got some people choosing that. I don't think it's like, I think because a lot of law students are looking for like maybe work-life balance is a big one, which I think forms part of culture, but work-life balance, and it was like stability, like opportunities for progression. But I had chosen culture, which is important to me. But I think what Ruth was saying was, obviously when you meet or when you do an interview with a law firm, everyone is putting their best foot forward. Everyone's going to say, oh, we love work-life balance. We're going to give you so much freedom. There's so many opportunities to progress. And they were like, look, everyone's going to tell you they've got great values. That's not something you can gauge. Like, I don't think that's something that maybe should be your absolute number one priority, which I thought was really interesting because obviously, yes, every company wants to put themselves in the best light. But I do think that working here, like maybe my standards are a bit higher now.
Yeah.
You can gauge it though.
I think so as well,
you can
right?
see where community engagement is with a company, and you can see even if you spend a little bit of time there. Like I knew maybe a month in working here that this was like a company with good values.
Yeah, because when I first met you guys, so Kane wouldn't have been here because this was pre-Kane era and also pre-Sammi era, because I met the company at their end of financial year dinner. And I was like you said, I could definitely gauge that there was a really good culture. Everyone was like getting along so well. The music was like great. I don't know whose playlist it was, but I now remember, like I now know who was who. But I think at the time it was like a few of the people from the accounting team were like really dancing to, I don't think it was Panic at the Disco, but it was.
I hope it was.
It was either Panic at the Disco or it was Fall Out Boy,
news.
I think. And I was like, wow, like I love this. And even just like the personalities, like everyone had a bunch of different. There was like a wide variety of like personalities, and like when people would come up to the bar and order with me, like I remember everyone was dressed really differently as well. Like, because Tully was like in her really cool, like, you know, Tully style. And I was like, wow, like I just really like this workplace. I thought you guys were really cool. So I definitely agree with Kane that it's definitely something you can gauge. And yeah, I also do think that working here has set the bar a little higher for me.
My first week here was Culture Week, and we did the race. Do you remember the race?
With the
Where's
egg?
the race?
There was like
an egg.
We did
Yeah.
like a Culture Week
Yeah,
race
yeah.
around the office. There was like popping balloons and an egg and spoon.
It was like
And
Peter, like
I was
stopping.
on a team with Peter, and James and Nadia.
That's a
Yeah,
competitive
that's
team.
such a great team to be on.
It was
All the directors.
insane. We killed it.
They just adopted
We
you.
absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
My first week here, I got a little trophy
Wow.
on my desk, and I
Is
could
it still
see
there?
that. No, it's stuck in James's office collecting dust.
Wait, what happened?
I added my thing to it, and no one else has, but that's okay. I didn't want them to anyway. But I think we've done so many events since I've been here. We've done like the tennis and the lawn bowls and stuff like that, and it's always so fun. Like even when you weren't here. You weren't technically here. You were doing your internship,
Yeah.
and you still came to the tennis.
Yeah,
Because the
true.
culture
Around
is
the
so
corner
warm.
from home.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
a
it's really
fantastic
nice.
culture.
Yeah.
You like the people you work with, which makes work like 10 times more fun because you know if you go for a walk to the kitchen to make a coffee, there's always someone there for like a nice little chat. And I think that whilst maybe it is a bit hard to engage from an outer perspective, if you give a company a chance and you kind of just start with them and trial, you can really gauge that. And I think that's something Gen Z does really well is we kind of pick and choose depending on our values and what we think is right. Like if we find that the place we're working at
That's
is
true.
not good for us, will leave and find somewhere
I think
else.
it's good to be picky.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic
Yeah.
to be
I think
picky.
it's good
know
to
your
not
worth.
resign
Yeah.
yourself to something you hate for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like you said, know your worth, know what works for you. Don't be unhappy if you can help it.
Exactly.
You know what I say to Amy?
Yeah.
This is from TikTok. What you're not changing. Wait, what do I say to her?
I don't know. I'm on the other side of the
What
desk
you're not
now.
changing, you're choosing.
What?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
that is
that's
true.
smart.
That's really good.
Yeah, like if you're not happy in a job, then
Yeah, like you have so much. Okay, well, I don't want to say you have so much more power than you think you do, but
No, you do.
But okay, like
You're so right.
I agree because I say it, and I know what I was coming from when I said it. But like, obviously, there's some situations where people, like we said last episode, may not have that flexibility or can't just easily
Yeah.
walk away from a job even if they want to. But I think there is still a lot more autonomy than people reckon they do have. So yeah, like you have quite a bit of control over your life. Like I could have, I don't know, gone for walks this morning. I didn't. I could have though. We're happy to move on to the next one,
Yeah.
which is okay. We also went over that one, so I'll skip to how important is flexibility in your ideal work environment, and what does workplace flexibility actually mean for you? Is it flexible hours, working from home opportunities, flexibility with self-expression, and dress code?
Huge.
Okay, you seem like you
Huge.
have
I
something.
just thought dress code and flexible hours are a big one that come to mind when this is brought up, because right now, as we're recording this episode, I'm in on a day that I'm not supposed to be in, that I chose to come in, and they were more than comfortable having me in to come help record this podcast. And I also am dressed in some of my favorite clothes, and I didn't get any slack about it because it's a company that embraces business casual, and we do casual Fridays, and it's a fantastic environment where you can express yourself through your clothing, which is really important to me. So I'm glad that we have that here.
Yeah, sorry, I just talked over you.
No, you're so fair.
But self-expression is really big for me. I think I was always a bit, I don't know if scared is the right word, but again, going back to that one unit I'm currently doing, critical management studies, there was a reading about how whether inclusion actually means like including people and the true essence of themselves, or whether they still have to toe the line between being just diverse enough to be diverse, but still being within, like, for example, company guidelines, even if they're not formally stipulated. So like, oh yeah, like I really like XYZ sort of clothing, but I have to maybe what's the word, like alter it a bit to still fit in, so it's not so out there. I mean, I think for Aintree Group, as long as it's within dress code, there's nothing that's so out there, and the dress code is not expressed in a way to stifle individualism, apart from things like no slogans, which I just think is fair for a workplace.
Like flip-flops or
Yeah,
anything
like
that.
the things I sort of say are like you can't have, what is it, like off the shoulder tops, which fair enough. But other than that, there's nothing like you have to wear a tie or you have to wear like small print or anything. So yeah, self-expression is really big to me.
I feel like that
and
also,
that's-
comes into like the client-facing aspect. It's so much more inviting when you walk into a meeting room and your accountant comes in not in a suit and tie. I feel like there's a degree of like casual, like it's a bit more like homey almost. It doesn't feel so like, oh, I'm going to see my accountant, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, a little bit more relaxed, and I think that could definitely help make clients feel more comfortable.
Yeah, like dissolve the other, like
Like a little like wall almost between
absolutely.
like a lawyer and then like the client, especially because they're bringing in like expertise and like specialist knowledge, and you don't want to feel like, I don't know, you're being belittled or anything like that. I feel like that almost ties into that a little bit and just makes the client experience a little bit better.
Very human. It's very human when you can sit down with someone and they're also just dressed like any other person. They're not in some like $1 billion cashmere suit. And they're like with their like one of a kind golden pen from Malaysia.
Anyone in mind that you're describing?
No.
I actually do know, like when we had someone recently join the team, they complimented Tully's I feel like we always end up mentioning Tully a lot, or at least I do, but
You do.
complimented Tully's the way Tully does her makeup. And they were like, oh, like at my previous workplace, like one of my friends there really likes this kind of makeup, but wasn't allowed to wear it. And I was like, wow, that is just, I feel like a very good example of, the flexibility that's afforded to us in this workplace, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. I think for me, flexibility, because I'm part-time, I'm really lucky. Like Aintree Group are just so supportive in terms of flexibility. I think for me at the moment, it's being able to change, because I'm doing 4 days, it's being able to change my days if I've got commitments with uni. And then also typical hours are 9 to 5, but even just being able to come like 8:30 till 4:30 if I've got something on, or slightly changing my hours. Or some days I do like a couple of hours less, and then I just make it up throughout the week, and Amy's really trusting and supportive of that if I need to. So I think that's big, but then also working full time, which I'll be doing next year. I think it'll be having the opportunity to work from home when I need to, or if I need a day during the week. I think that's really big in terms of flexibility.
They're so fantastic with the student.
Yeah. And I'm going away for 6 weeks next month.
Same.
So
We're going to Europe for 4 weeks.
We're so lucky they've been so supportive.
And like I go and have a chat with Katie about it, and like she's not like getting all stingy about like how many weeks. She's like, oh my God, where are you going? Like it's so like nice to have that
really good.
that connection, especially with like your manager who's technically like your superior, but like having those like casual, like friendly chats with them, I really appreciate. And it also just makes you feel a bit more at ease, especially because we are all part-time and also studying uni and, you know, handling, you know, living out of home for me and Kane. And it's nice to have that support from your manager. So really appreciate Katie for that. Shout out.
And Andrea's amazing.
Shout
out to everyone.
It's so nice.
Ever.
Very lucky.
It's so nice being able to come in and like chat about uni or like life or stuff with like you or Amy or anyone in our operations team, and then
get all the
just
goss.
Not even just goss, just like life stuff. Like in my old office, like where I used to work, it wasn't an office. I don't know why I said that. But where I used to work, like I do fun stuff through film or through school, and I'd want to come in and tell people about it, but it's so like under the pump. You couldn't take time to talk to anyone.
It'd be like a little
But
secret.
here,
I feel like it's been a little bit like that the last few weeks.
no, but even still, like on Monday, I was able to come in, do my thing, like lock in, but also like take 2 minutes to be like, Amy, you want to hear about this music video I worked on a week ago? And like she'll
always
always
up for a
listen.
chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I literally just showed Tully and Jess my new air fryer.
I said I was going to bring up the air fryer, and Izzy's like, don't bring up my new air fryer.
I actually do need a new air fryer.
Just
too.
FYI, that happened like minutes before this recording started. I'm so excited that Izzy has
but
an
it's
air
so
fryer.
nice to
Do
just
you want
like
to show us?
Show the camera.
my phone is the camera.
Oh, it's really nice Philips something
Suitable
air
fryer,
tech.
yes. Oh.
What does that mean?
Okay.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I had a
sorry,
point and
I
then
like
lost it.
I completely diverted
No,
with my
sorry.
air fryer.
With the flexibility point when we were talking about flexibility, like I think Izzy was saying having that relationship with your superior where you can sort of talk and disclose that you're going to be away for a while is really reassuring. I don't know about you guys, but when I've worked hospo in the past, I was so scared to take leave.
Yeah.
Like you would be like, they're gonna cut me loose if I'm gone for more than like a week, or like if I would say,
Like
hey,
hospo jobs are so intense.
right, like can't do Saturday night, and they'll be like,
Okay,
meet me
Same
at the
as
back.
retail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally
Terrifying.
like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
retail.
like okay, you're taking the weekend off. Okay, better quit. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
so
for
You're
real.
no
They
longer
treat you
part of
like
us.
a different person.
yeah, it's so weird
Yeah.
though because you're
Terrifying.
actually doing like less, you know, like you don't need really much experience to work at fast food or retail.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's a pretty
you're doing a
accessible
lower
job.
level job and then there's so much more put on you.
Yeah.
It's really,
Which-
yeah.
And especially most of the time people are casual.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think
they're
that's probably
allowed
why
to
as
call
well.
yeah.
It's weird. I still like I've worked at Aintree for almost a year now. Getting close.
really?
Congratulations.
Getting close. It's weird. Couple months off, but with even though I've like not worked in my retail / customer service jobs in ages, I still have those fears
Me too.
when I'm here.
Like
Like-
I remember when I asked time off for I don't know what it was. I think it was just like a study leave for like 2 weeks. Oh no, I went interstate with my family for like 5 days. So scared to tell them. I was like, Katie. And she was like, oh my gosh, where are you going? That's so exciting. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, it's okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
take
I'm
a
still
breathe.
here.
And now you feel way more comfortable just going like,
Yeah.
I need to swap these days because, you know, I want to go away. I think especially for us, like the people that work part-time and at uni, they're definitely more flexible with. And yeah,
I think
much
it also
appreciated.
comes down to trust as well. Like if you've
Yeah.
got a good employee that you know they're gonna get
But
shit
yeah.
done
Like,
when it
we're
needs to get done, then
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we're not
Yeah.
skipping because we hate work.
no.
No.
There's a level
We'll
of
catch up when
commitment
we
and
get back.
yeah. So I think trust is a big thing in terms of
agree.
It's
flexibility.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
I literally came in this time last week, and I came in and I was sick, and I went through like half a shift. You were too. You pushed yourself
I
too
pushed.
hard.
Yeah, I know.
I told Amy like
then I had
halfway
Monday
through
off.
the day. Sorry for just dipping that day too.
Oh no, that's fine.
I-
Amy texted me when I was at the post office.
Oh, okay. I'm glad someone told
Yeah,
you
yeah.
because I was gonna wait, and then she was like, "No, just go home."
Yeah.
But I got to like halfway, maybe 3/4 through the day, and I just texted my manager through our Teams app, and I was like, "Hey, I'm so sick. Can I go home?" And she was like, "Why did you even come into work?" They're so patient and so understanding. It is like, to put it in one word, it's just very human.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I feel like, especially, well, I have more knowledge in the legal team, but if Tully or Katie is sick away, it's such a team effort of like picking up the slack where it's needed. And, I think we do it really well, speaking, for the legal team. And Sammi and I help out where we can, what we can with. But I think it's such a nice like team environment, and like the trust is there to, if you need to have a day off, like the work will still get done
Yeah, the
between
team has
you.
your
Like,
back. Yeah.
I think it's the same here. I think, and feel free to tell me otherwise, but I feel like when you went and did your internship, I don't feel like there was an element of, I need to teach you this and this and this. I
No.
think you just trusted the team to
Yeah.
leave and know that everything was going to be done, and
Yeah.
the things that maybe you were specialized in weren't just going to fall apart.
We're also
because you were
backed
gone.
by like a really, I'm not sure how to describe it, but like the procedures we have in place, the way we do, like
Yeah.
all of that stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I think they work tirelessly on.
But
Yeah.
we also just have a crazy
Yeah.
team. Like, our team is insane.
What do you mean?
Like,
Just
like
AG generally?
good insane. Like,
Oh.
Yeah.
like the accounting operations. I feel like if I don't finish something, or I like need to go home because I'm sick, 'cause I can't do something, I don't even have to think or have a second thought that things might not get done. Like when I left on that Friday, I knew that we're gonna be able to handle the afternoon checklist and all the other stuff that we have to do at the end of the day, because I know that you're a capable employee.
Just get it done.
Exactly. Just gotta
being
do it.
productive.
My motto.
And I hope that it's the same for you. Like,
Yeah.
if you need to go home, you know that I can just clean up.
We might move on.
Okay.
Just because I feel like we did stick with that point for a very long time, which is fine. But
I
anyway.
haven't used this at all
Haven't used
today.
it?
I'm
Okay,
really
okay.
mad.
So we've got some choices. We've got some more work-related ones. I'm quite drawn
Oh,
to
we
the
got
question
ages.
of how we feel growing up on social media has shaped the way we see ourselves, but I do understand that it's a bit different to the rest of the questions.
What a question.
So would we like to tackle that one just for like some variety, or
We
would
sure
we want to go
can.
back?
And then I have one that I want to ask.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so scared. Why did you like just look at me when you were saying that? It's like, Sammi?
It's on the piece of paper.
okay. Do we want to talk about social media just briefly, if we can be
We
brief
can.
with it? Yeah.
We've got plenty.
20
We've got so much
seconds.
time. No, we don't.
Oh, time.
9 minutes.
Heaps of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone want
What
to
was the
start us
question
off?
exactly?
So,
or just
how do
social
you
media
think-
question mark?
How do you think growing up with social media has shaped the way you see yourself and the world around you?
I think, coming from studying journalism, I'm inclined to
Subtle
say
flex.
that the way we consume news has definitely changed from the, getting like current affairs issue. That was not English.
Yeah, what?
Journalism?
Getting current
Okay.
affairs issue.
Learning about like current affairs is not really done through like morning shows or like just satellite
Newspapers.
TV, no newspapers, and it's very much based on social media and podcasts now. I know people that I study with listen to like daily podcasts.
Plant, grow, reap?
No, I should get them on it.
get them on
But it's definitely like changed the way that you see the world. Like you don't get up and have a coffee and read the newspaper. Like you get up, you have a coffee and you scroll on your phone. I don't know whether that's you're consuming news or you're, just checking what
Just
people
scrolling,
are up to.
Just the real scroll.
And just even that like connection you have with other people through like Instagram. You get to see where your primary school best friend is, if she's traveling or if she's at work, or it's such a nice way to actually still connect. So that's like positive, I think, of social media.
Yes. what you said about being the ability to connect with people who you may otherwise not be in the immediate vicinity of. Sort of as a counterpoint, like I don't disagree with you. I think that's great because there are so many people I know that like I'm really close with, but I never get to see them. But I am someone I think who's not the best at attending to social media. Like I sort of will go to it if I'm like really bored, or if I want to distract my mind. But otherwise, like I do find it's hard to get out of once you start like being in it. So like I personally have a screen time blocker because I need to lock in, right? Like I need to lock in, you need to lock in. But I also think that with that, I don't particularly enjoy the pressure that comes from feeling like you have to be immediately available or immediately reachable at all times. Yeah. Like if someone really needs me, I think my close friends know that I'll pick up or I'll call back if it's urgent. But if someone's like texting me and I'm like not responding within like 2 days, I hate that pressure. The pressure to like get on.
I feel like I pressure you because you always have do not disturb on and I go notify anyway.
Do you actually?
I didn't know that was a thing you could do.
I thought I just changed my like settings so you bypassed that. But I didn't. Nice to know that you've actually been bypassing yourself.
Yes.
But
it's very important that we don't come to work in the same stripy cardigan again.
A fun fact is Izzy and I actually matched the other day and we looked like
twins.
We looked really silly.
I think I've done this thing recently to disconnect from social media where I bought a charger for my phone, but it's really, really short. So
I've heard.
Yeah. So when I plug my phone on charge, I'm either having to sit really uncomfortably in this nook in the corner on my floor, which I don't do because it's horribly uncomfortable, or I just leave it and go about my day and come back to it in maybe an hour or so when I feel like it's charged enough. And that's really helped me with that constantly feeling like I need to be available thing. Yeah. I've also just stopped working on other people's timelines. I posted a music video that I was a part of yesterday.
I saw that. It looks great. I actually know the artist.
That came out like, oh, what the fuck?
That's
crazy.
For like a friend of a friend. Like we had like a bunch of mutual.
Yeah,
wait, I've heard of this person.
Yeah, she's super
anyway,
chill.
Sorry, go on.
But that came out weeks ago, or like a week or two ago. Yeah. And I just haven't felt like posting it. Yeah. I've been really running on my own schedule recently on social media while I get my life and my house in check, and it's actually been like the healthiest thing that I've ever done because I'm not just sitting on my phone waiting for people to text or like spamming people or feeling like I need to be posting stuff because my phone's not on me.
And I feel like especially in the field, the prospective fields that we're wanting to go into, it's probably not as like important. Like I know in marketing you need to like have that engagement with your clientele, so it's important to be engaged on social media, but just for us, it's just for personal use. There's not really a need.
Well,
so there is.
Speak for yourself.
Kane.
My portfolio lives on my Instagram.
Yeah, but that's also for your engagement. That's for your work prospects. My Instagram has photos of me traveling. I don't think that's going to help anyone.
I've been trying to mix it healthily.
Yeah,
like I've been trying to do a bit of. But that's another thing. You actually just raised a point that I was going to mention before. You were mentioning your best friend or like primary school best friend on holiday and just being able to connect. But on social media, we only see what people want us to see. So I only post photos that I feel like I look good in, or if they're like visually like if the environment is really pretty or something like that. I only post those kinds of photos. That's so subjective because that's not what my life looks like every 2 seconds. And especially, no, you're good. Feel free to cut in.
No, you finish.
It's the same with the music videos I post. That's, funnily enough, the exact same thing. I only post snippets, or in this kind of industry, you only post stills that are really, really nice and visually appealing shots.
Fair enough.
Because that's what you want people to see. You don't want people to see that one shot where the focus wasn't 100% right, or that one shot where it was a bit shaky. You want them to see the eye catches, which is what social media is.
Yeah.
Someone said this to me last week, I can't remember who, and they said nothing is as good as it seems and nothing's as bad as it seems.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's so applicable to social media because it's obviously a highlight reel. But then it's also the flip side if you're seeing like current affairs and news through your TikTok feed or your Instagram or whatever.
They need a hook.
It's the hook. So it's nothing's as good as it seems.
Well, like the news industry, it's still like business. They still need to like make money.
And they like the drama.
Yeah,
That's
literally.
literally all of like.
Well, yeah, I
engagement.
literally have a subject that's like practical journalism, and it's getting that hook. Like, and I'm trying to write a heading that's not so like
a sizzling start.
catfishy almost. And then they're like, no, that's not good. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the
like,
exact same for film or music. Like if those first couple shots aren't super engaging, or like if you're doing a feature film, if that first like 10, 20 minutes isn't super like eye-catching, or like the story isn't really clicking for you, especially with the attention span of our generation, people will just turn it off and they won't care.
Well, yeah, that is the problem with it. It's become like such a scrolling generation. Like TikTok, it's a 15-second little highlight reel or a 15-second snippet of an interview with somebody that's, you know, something's happened, and you don't really get the full picture. Like, I mean, newspaper also was only a snippet. Like,
it's selective.
but
It's
yeah,
like-
it is
it's
very
just like
selective.
a story. It's like the story they want to sell.
Yeah.
Which I understand, and I don't think it's exclusive to your industry, like what you were saying about people choosing the best. Like, I mean, even if you come across like any company, they're going to take like the testimonials that put them in the best light, obviously. Like, they're not going to take bad reviews. So yeah, I mean, social media definitely exacerbates that, I think, but otherwise I do think it's like a reiteration, of something that's already been happening in history and just the way the working world sort of
just a new
operates.
version. Well, did we want to end it off with Sophie's question?
Yes.
Do you remember
It's
your
on
question?
it's on the piece of paper. I
What is
just when I was reading it before this, I was like, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Do you feel optimistic or uncertain about the future?
I was going to ask this if you
I think
didn't
it's a
ask
good
it.
question.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic question.
Anyone, do you want to
speak
start,
first?
or are you like wanting to hear?
No, I want to hear.
Oh, okay.
I'm interested.
Who wants to go first?
I work in film, so I'm very, very skeptical of the future. I just found a website called Sora, which is AI attached to ChatGPT that does pictures and videos.
Yeah.
And they're scarily good, like terrifyingly good, which has made me very nervous for the future of my career. But also we have some people in positions of power across the world that I don't have aligned values with that scare me a little bit.
Yeah.
So not really too hopeful for the future. I'm kind of just trying to take it day by day.
Yeah.
I think I am with you on both of those points. I personally don't use AI really. If I can help it, I don't really, because I think I've grown up a very creative person. I've always prided myself in my literary abilities, I suppose. Like, I write a lot, I read a lot, I make a lot of art. So the idea that AI can sort of do all of that is really scary. Although I do have my doubts as to whether AI can do all of it, because I've read some writing, which I would say has not been very good. But I agree with you, like, especially on the art point. And yeah, even just like the fact that they're reproducing essentially what's already been produced. So maybe even if artists stop creating original art now, there's still all this art that's already been made that's still existing in the world that they can just keep remaking and reproducing and reinventing, which is a bit grim. So I agree with you on both those points. Those makes me a little scared, but otherwise, like, from a personal perspective, like where I am in my life right now, where I'm walking towards, I think I'm somewhat optimistic. Like, I don't think I'm on the wrong path, and I do like get excited about living. I heard it in my brain. No. I heard it in my brain, and I went, "Oh, that's gonna sound so." Oh, but I genuinely like. Do you know what he means? Like, I feel like we're young.
Life, I just don't
like no, for sure. But like we're at like that point where it's like, wow, I really like the hashtag world is my oyster. Like, I'm gonna grab my life by its reins. We're really gonna.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Okay, I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but
No, I do.
No, look out, world,
like,
Sammy's coming.
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get so excited. I get so excited over it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like when I read this question, I took a different approach to Kane, and I probably put aside the world issues at the moment. But now that I have been enlightened to that lovely
There was a
aspect,
back burner.
I was
my thingy for that.
I definitely agree that there are some leaders at the moment I don't have aligned views with as well.
Mm.
But I was thinking of this question a little bit more optimistically. And I was thinking about how we, like in the legal industry, how we are actually using and adapting to using AI within the profession rather than just worried about it taking over, because I don't think that personally, I don't think it's going to take over, because I think you need that personal connection with clients and actually understanding that human like relationship between like a family, a company, and the actual personal relationships within that. And yeah, even having our AI dojo sessions and actually improving our ability to use AI is making me more optimistic rather than, you know, hesitant, because we're actually gaining the knowledge to use AI in a way that's going to assist us rather than take over what we're doing. So I think that keeps me optimistic rather than
I'm just interested to what happened to like having a good think. Like what happened to having a good
What
think?
happened to having a
'Cause
ponder?
we like from what I hear from not people in the office but people in a general sense is that people use AI for like
Everything.
the easiest things, and I'm like, what just happened to having a think? Like
I-
sitting and like
Yeah.
plotting for 2 minutes.
Plotting.
Like when you go to the shops, if I want to make a cake, I don't need to go on to ChatGPT and go, what are the ingredients for a cake? I
I
can
do
think
that.
without them, or call my friend, or call my mom, or
Google.
like
I think a
Google.
big point is that like Googling is a lot less environmentally damaging
find a
than using
cookbook.
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, way less.
And you're also like supporting
But
the
also-
author of recipes. But I agree with you.
Everyone around us knows things that we might not, so it doesn't hurt to call a friend and have an ask.
Okay, but that's like a, you know, a personal thing. What if you, I can't come up with an example, but what if something really niche you needed to know? Like,
Google it. Do
Yeah,
some
I mean-
research. What happened to research and thinking? You're a lawyer.
Okay, it's getting a little too discursive.
Okay.
But I will say, like, I agree with your point that it does. I was surprised by how much it actually is used. Like, I was at uni on, I think it was Monday. I was walking from, you guys will know this. This is Campus Centre in Monash, and I was like literally leaving like from the subway area going towards LTB, and I heard 3 conversations talking about ChatGPT as I was literally leaving. Like it was like a 20-minute
It's
span.
so much.
And someone was like it was like a conversation between two guys. One of them was like, oh, but did you write it or did chat write it? And then the next blah, 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 like 2 seconds later, someone's talking
Especially
about like,
in the
oh, no,
uni
just
environment.
ChatGPT did. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I feel
wow.
like it's so
and
prominent
it's
at
a
unis
verb
as
now.
well.
I chat GPT.
It's
I
scary.
chatted it. Yeah.
I chatted it like,
We don't have any AI at my school because obviously it's an arts school, but we have our lecturers use like 10 different AI checking softwares to see if there's AI used. And if you get it, you get so heavily demarked that you're most likely to fail the class.
well, yeah,
That's funny.
for like law school, it can like lessen your chances of getting admitted as a solicitor or a
Yeah.
barrister. So it can really affect your profession.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Would-
do agree. Sorry?
No, I was just going to ask what Sophie thought. You
Yeah.
asked the question.
Um,
You didn't get the time to.
I feel like I have
the
two
answer.
different.
You've heard everything now.
Yeah, I know. I feel like similar to you guys though, there's like more of a global perspective and then a personal perspective. Like on a global perspective, I feel like it's quite a turbulent time and quite.
That's the best
are
way to
changing.
say it.
Yeah.
Really, like there's a lot of uncertainties at the moment with
Yeah.
I don't know leaders, climate change, AI is pretty scary, and like where does it start? Where does it stop? Sorry,
Yeah.
and I feel like no one really knows where it's going. So I think that's scary. But then also when you look back at history, like there is always fluctuations in uncertainty, and there's always things happening.
Yeah.
The human race will prevail.
Yes, and I also think because of social media and the internet, we're seeing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you compare it
Everything.
to, I don't know, 50
Yeah.
years ago, people weren't
Yeah,
seeing
you
as
just
much.
went about your day, went and
Yeah.
bought milk.
But
and
we
We're
just
just
have
a little
so
stupid.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so much access to information and
Yeah,
what's
it's
going
kind
on
of
around us,
fear-mongering.
which is
Oh,
It
for
is.
sure, it's
yeah.
fear-mongering.
But then on a personal perspective, I'm really optimistic about the future. And
Yeah.
I,
See,
I'm
take the
just
words
having
right.
so much fun. So yeah, no,
Maybe
I've
I'll-
got a lot of good things ahead of me. So.
Maybe I'll backtrack and agree with the both of you and just reflect on my actual personal life for this
Yeah,
question.
Kane went
Yeah.
like, how
I
can
just
I give
moved
the
in-
most depressing
I know.
answer?
I may be sad in the room, but I moved into a house on last Tuesday with 2 fantastic
Congratulations.
people. The house is beautiful. My roommates are amazing.
And they're designers or interior.
One of them is a production designer in film.
You have to take photos for us.
Other is an art curator. So they're both very fantastically talented
So do you have a
people.
really bougie house now?
It's so gorgeous. The living room is the most cozy thing in the world. And the environment is so warm and welcome. Anyone I've had over has said that they want to just come over, not even for me, just to come over.
Just hang out.
So I get that, and then I've also got this beautiful job with fantastic people that I get to work with, and I'm also coming up in the film industry.
Yeah.
So life is good, and I am optimistic for the future.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you could
apologies for
recover.
my terrifying response to start.
I don't want to like dampen the mood again. because
yeah.
we moved away from AI, but I was just thinking.
That was
The
possible.
other day I was talking about this with my parents, and my
wrong
dad
one.
was like, for sort of entry level jobs, so the sort of careers that maybe we are starting in, or like jobs you can get while you're working in uni, whether it be like legal assistant or like intern or like coordinator or things like that. My dad was basically like, a lot of these jobs are, like you said, and obviously the whole industry is not becoming replaceable, but some of these more smaller tasks are becoming replaceable, which sort of raises the bar for the skill level required from graduates, or I guess from students. I think we're lucky to be at a time where we're working with AI rather than like under AI. So we're not feeling maybe that stress yet. But I'm like, I don't know, my sister, maybe if she comes to a time in like a few years where she wants to get into a job, like a lot of tasks that she would be doing now replaced by AI. And like, does that sort of disqualify her from like entering these sort of jobs when she's studying? So that scares me a bit for her.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, life's great.
Well, yeah, even in that even in that AI masterclass we had earlier, they were saying that the skill level for software engineers coming in has to be so much higher now because of the level that AI can code, not just manual labor. So it's interesting and kind of a little scary in that way, a little daunting, but maybe I'm also not going into software engineering, so that's okay.
We should wrap up because of the construction that is starting next door.
I was wondering what that was. I was like, someone's scratching at the door.
Someone
like,
really wants to get in right now.
Any points that anyone wanted to bring up?
Sophie, did you have
before we
something?
close?
I was about AI. I was just about to say, I'm really glad we didn't really have AI when we were in high school.
Oh my God, true.
No one would have done a
And
thing.
then year 12 exams is all written and printed. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I wonder if that will change, like if it's going to be
If
like
they start doing
typed or
exams
something.
online that are typed and have the ability to use AI, I will.
Or maybe
but I
not
think
that.
lose
it's
all
even
faith
more
in future
important now to
generations.
have handwritten assessments.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
agreed.
obviously
People
you
can't write
use-
nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Handwriting.
I
like
think
the
it's a
level of
really good skill
education,
to have.
yeah.
Be able to write.
But even like the
And formulate
physicality
answers.
Like physically
of
with,
writing,
like, a pen.
People
Yeah, I know.
cannot
Oh,
write
yeah.
with a pen
Yeah.
nowadays. They're so used to, like in primary school now they're using iPads,
Yeah.
and in high school it's straight to computers. No one's actually writing anymore.
Yeah, like I remember
It's
when I
scary.
was in prep, there was 4 computers in the
same.
class.
Oh my God.
Same.
And it would be
Like
those
the
like
big
big desktop.
desktop.
And we had like
Yeah.
IT class.
Yeah,
We
IT
had
class.
And
iPads.
touch typing? Did
Yeah.
you guys do touch typing?
Touch typing.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
That
was the game.
The game, and you had to like, I can.
And there was like a frog
I
or
think it's
something.
also-
Did you guys have pen licenses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you get your pen
I
license?
failed mine. And
I was
then
about to say.
Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean?
I've seen Kane's handwriting.
You suck.
Did you get
Can
yours
we-
like in prep or something?
Actually, I didn't get
Okay,
mine.
so just
for a
before
while
you finish
ago.
that, let's wrap. No, I'm joking.
No, we actually can
rude.
wrap up. Anything else? Anything else to add?
I'd like to
done.
add that I actually have fantastic handwriting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Guys, I think we did so well today.
We
Talked about the topic.
We haven't
We actually
finished yet.
didn't like go on a tangent this time.
till we
Well, a
get
little
to
bit.
that.
Definitely a lot about AI. We really delved into that topic.
I
which
think it's important for us to
Absolutely, it's
talk about.
topical.
Especially as Gen Z.
Yeah.
It's like very much.
Yep.
I think the
focused at our
others might
generation.
laugh at us for talking about how we used computers back in the day.
I am
They're
worried.
probably like,
I am worried that you do use it for stuff like cake recipes. I think you should
Why?
buy a
But-
cookbook
Isn't that just the same as Googling?
no, I do think it's because like, what if, weren't they just?
because of the server usage.
This was the first time I did it.
and the carbon emissions.
Yeah,
and
no,
But
my-
weren't they just
Yeah.
combine a bunch of recipes anyway? Like, wouldn't you be better?
I'm
off
not
just
gonna
going
lie,
to
I
one?
didn't use it. I went to Google, guys. Like, don't worry.
Well done.
But yeah,
It's
I
For that kind of stuff, I Google because
It's smarter.
Okay,
I
I'm
need to
getting
know
like
the
the
source.
side eye.
There's
Also,
also
like-
you get the processing power for AIs
It's
like ChatGPT
crazy.
to even just
So much
process.
more.
And it uses a
thanks
lot of
and
water,
please.
which I had no
Way
idea
more
of.
than-
Yeah, because
Yeah.
cooling.
Yeah.
It cools
Yeah.
it.
Very.
Yeah.
My mum works
Data
for a water
centers.
company, and she was telling me how much water it uses, and I was like, I wouldn't have even thought that. Like, it's just
Yeah.
on the
It
internet.
Because you
uses
think
liquid
maybe I'm
cooling
just- but it's
nowadays.
not.
It's
Oh,
insane.
I'm just oblivious, maybe, but I should probably
So if you
Do
guys
some
don't know,
research. Do
yeah,
some
do some
research.
research.
Do
Not on
some research.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, Google.
Google it.
Or go to the library
If it's
and find a
Googleable,
book.
just Google.
What's wrong with the library?
Nothing. I'm saying go to the library and find a book. I'm not dissing you. I'm being real.
He's being real.
I will.
Yeah, Kane's really into reading recently, so
Yeah, I read books, guys.
he's become literate.
No, it was what was it?
So I can't write
book
or
club
read,
book.
according to Sammy.
Is this no? What did you read recently?
The book club book.
The tale,
Is it,
it's
by
the Cthulhu
Herman-
mythos
Yes.
by H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And I don't condone his behavior as a human being, but I like the book. Just for
Yes.
audience
Okay.
value.
Okay. We actually, I feel really
I don't
bad for
know.
taking Millie's.
I'm hungry.
Oh,
It's
no, Millie's.
lunchtime.
Wrap
Okay,
it
it's
up.
lunchtime. It's lunchtime.
Oh,
We
I
are
could come with
15
lunch.
minutes
I can come on
over.
lunch with you guys.
Well, yes,
Yay.
one of us maybe.
Yeah.
I have to.
That was a
Anyway,
Okay,
wrap it up
perfect.
before we.
We're wrapping it up, everyone.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up there. Thank you for listening to Plant Grow Reap. We'll chat again soon, and make sure to listen to us anywhere you can get your podcasts.
Thanks.
Thanks.
for having us.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.